We're back recording a podcast.
We are.
Awesome.
Again.
Number 950. I don't even know what number we're on anymore. This will be a DBS, by the way.
Oh, okay.
In case you were wondering,
I wasn't.
my prep work was not done. I wanted to talk about what we've just been reading, but I'm going to do that for the main episode.
Yeah.
So for the cold open, Spencer, we're going to discuss
What?
the importance of writing groups.
Okay.
Because we've many times have been asked to come to various writing groups and reading groups and all kinds of groups. People want to hang out with us.
Because we'll
talk
cool.
shop.
We're cool.
I brought it up because we just hung out with Mike yesterday for a little bit. Number 2 podcast listener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If only he could,
supplant number one.
Yeah.
Can't do it every week.
Uh,
That guy's fucking downloaded and listening. Every week I get a like from that guy. So he's on it. And I know it's not like first thing in the morning because it's always like around noon. Unless that guy's like, I don't know.
That's when he's having, he's listening while he's having his dinner.
Yeah, he's like, all right, these guys, I'm going to, what if that guy's a serial killer? And that's how he tortures his, you know what? We don't need to go there. So, writing group, Spencer, do you feel like you would thrive in a writing group? Like, it's like, hey, we meet together and we're not going to say it's like some kind of coffee shop. We're talking about like a serious, like a Chuck Palahniuk writing group. Like, we used to go to the writer's workshop, whatever the fuck it was. And it's like all published, serious writers, and they're talking about their stories in a way that's supposed to make them better and get published. So, do you think you would thrive in that, or do you think you just either A, like me, probably get irritated and be like, I don't give a fuck what you people think about my story, or do you think it would be one of those endeavors where it's like you would just kind of peter out because, again, you probably don't care as much?
Well, I think it really will matter, depends on like who's in the group.
I think the main problem for me would be the stories that we're covering, like people's stories. If it's just a writing group, like this person writes YA, this one writes sci-fi, no. Like, I feel like it would only be beneficial if it's people that have a similar taste in the stories that they're writing. Because if it's, like, all over the place, like, I'm not going to care about somebody's YA vampire story or something.
Right.
Or, like the Twilight shit, I'm not caring about that. If you're writing that, I don't even want to read it.
See, I guess I would rather, I don't know what you'd call it, but I would more rather a thing where it's like you're not necessarily talking about specific stories. Like maybe you could bring it up, like if you're having like an issue, you could like bring it up to the group and maybe get some thoughts or like
themes and character motivations.
Like, like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Does that sound like? Have you guys seen that in anything? Does that But more of a getting together with like a group of writers and talking about like the craft, or talking about certain maybe like authors or books or whatever that you guys enjoy and what you can
that's
make,
different. Yeah,
you know
that's
what I
fine.
mean? Something like that. I think I would probably pull more from, other than just like it's a gathering and it's like everybody takes like their 30 minutes to go over their story with the group kind of thing.
Well, just from what I've seen from people I know that are in different writing groups and stuff, it seems like a lot of this is, hey, everybody in the group will read your story. Supposedly they're supposed to read your story. And then they'll give you feedback. But then where I get irritated is if a lot of the feedback is just about the writing, like the way the story's written, or it's like, you should probably phrase it this way, or you should, like, that is how, like, that's what would turn me off immediately. Because, like, no, that's how you would write the story. Like, yeah, if there's like a mistake or something, I could, point that out. But if it's just like, oh, I would phrase it this way, or I would, describe things this way, well, then you fucking write it. Like, that immediately makes me want to punch somebody in the face. Like, I don't want, now you're trying to write the story for me. Now, if it's like, hey, this character, you said he had blue eyes, now they have brown. Good.
Yeah.
Point that out. Or if it's like, hey, this scene, you had it going this way, but does it really make sense that character would do this after doing that?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, yeah, I didn't even think about it. You're right. Like, that's fine.
Well, you've always been very more particular about the art of the styling of writing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Of like the specific way, like you might say something or how you set something up and stuff like that. And you've always been kind of like more that, and then like plot second. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, that makes sense that would like piss you off more, to where like I think like with me, if somebody's like, well, it would probably make maybe more sense if you said this first and that, and I'd be like, Oh yeah, that's just my weird like backward
Yeah.
brain, writing a sentence like.
Yeah, I guess because like if you're going into the story, you're just writing the story. If your focus isn't just on the language, then yeah, you're not so connected to it. Whereas me, it's like, well, no, I purposely wrote that paragraph. Like I deliberated over that for a
Yeah.
long time, and now you're telling me to write it a different way that doesn't either, I don't think makes it better or doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
Now every once in a while there would be something where it's like, oh yeah, like you might point something out like, yeah, that is phrase kind of weird or something. But I get really annoyed when people try to write the story for you almost. Because I've seen examples of that where people are like, this is the suggestions. And I'm like, they're just writing the story for you.
Yeah.
Like, that's not help.
Mhm.
Even if it's better, that's their story then. Like,
Mhm.
fuck them. But yeah, like plot points and stuff, that's fine. But even so, I personally think it's a waste of time. If you're like a serious writer who wants to put out a lot of work, I think if you're in these writing groups, you're spending too much time in the writing groups probably.
Well-
Now, if it's like, oh, this is like once every couple weeks we get together, or even maybe once a week and we discuss some stuff, it might keep you on track, and that wouldn't be too bad. But I feel like if that's like your main focus, like, oh, I have to write to get this story done for the writing group next week, it's like that's probably why you shouldn't be writing then.
Well,
Or at least not writing that for that.
Also, then too, like also depending on like how big of the group, it's like we reading.
Can't be more than 5 people. If it's more than that, that's too many.
Well, I was gonna say because like are we reading everybody's story every week?
Yeah.
Or are we doing like this week we're gonna do Joe's story, next week we're gonna do Jim's story? Like you know what I mean?
See that again? That's different. If you're reading everybody's story or multiple people's story, that's too much.
Right? Yeah, that's
When are you
taking away-
when are you writing? Now, if it's just like, oh, at the end of the month we're going to cover your story, the next week after that we're going to cover Joe's story. Like, okay, maybe that's more doable. But even so, like that just seems like a lot of things that just aren't writing.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, it's always just the writing. So if it's a bunch of different shit that is not the writing, then I don't think it's that important. Now, if you have a story that's done and then you want to do the writing group, okay, that's that's understandable.
That's more like having beta readers.
Yeah, but then just get beta readers. That's another thing. It's like you want readers to read your work, not other writers. If other writers can always look at it as, at least I do, it's like, oh, this should be written that way, or that's how I would write it, or something. Like it's very hard for us as writers to just read something as just readers. I feel so. Yeah, I don't think I'm a big fan of writing groups. And granted, I haven't been in too many writing groups, so I can't really judge. But it just my limited experience, and then seeing other people involved, it just seems like a lot of feedback that I don't actually want. Because I don't want other people's opinion to dictate how my final product is, unless it's like an editor. Somebody that's like, oh, this is going to get published, but you got to fix some shit.
Yeah, somebody who's going to publish it can have a say.
Yeah, but if it's just like other random writers and stuff, it's like I don't really... Like, I could appreciate some feedback, but I don't really want you dictating how my story comes out. And I found a lot of success in not having feedback on stories, writing it the way I want to write it, and then letting the publisher judge if it's quality, and then they publish it. Now, if I get a story that keeps constantly getting rejected, maybe that would be something to be like, okay, let's get a writing group, and what's wrong with the story? What do you guys think? And maybe that would be a little helpful, but at the same time, I feel like at that point, I'll just abandon that story.
Well, again, like I said, it's like if you can like critique it or like set it up enough to where it's just like, because like like you just don't want to be in like a random like writers group and it's like Joe Blow, like well, what do I know about him? But like if you're just thinking it's like, but you like Nicholas Obregon read the story, like I would take like
his advice.
I would at least take it in consideration,
Well, that's the thing. Like, are you in a writers group that's just a bunch of unpublished writers, or like maybe even people on our level who've just been in some indie stuff? Is that necessarily feedback you need to take? Versus, oh, this guy, Nick Oberon, published by Penguin. Maybe, that gives him some weight. Okay, I would take. But even though, because like Nick has given me some advice on certain things, and I always take it with a grain of salt. It's like, all right, let me see if this fits the story. Because I've sent him a couple things, just asking him, like, hey, I was thinking about sending this like a UK publisher. Would they be offended by this line over there? And he would give me advice. But as far as like, again, just like straight writing feedback, it's like, that'd be how you told the story. It's like, I don't think it would really matter. Even if it was like a Stephen King or something, I don't think it would really matter to me if they were like, hey, you probably should write this that way. And I'm like, I would think about it. It's like, why? And if it doesn't have the weight in my head, like it doesn't have the merit in my head of, oh, that's something like that's Stephen King would be doing that now. Like that's how he's writing it. I'm not Stephen King, so I'm not going to write it that way. I don't think that, writing groups are a necessity because I know a lot of people, they like really fret over the idea of like, I should probably be in writing groups and I should be doing this and that, or I'm not. No, you just do what the fuck. I mean, writing's a solitary endeavor, you know?
Yeah.
Like, just fucking write. That's the thing I always say. Just write. Like, was Ray Bradbury in a shitload of writing groups when he was doing all this fucking short story a week for 40 years? I don't think so.
No.
Probably not. That's another thing is like the most popular and most well-respected writers, how many of them are actually in writing groups? Some, like I mentioned Chuck Palahniuk, though I wouldn't put a lot of stock in it, but then he ended up dropping out for the things I'm bitching about. I remember him talking about on when he was on Rogan years ago. But I think like Tolkien, he was in like a writing group. He was in the Inklings. It was a famous writing group. Him, C.S. Lewis, and a couple other fucking guys. But I remember, I'm pretty sure it was either him or C.S. Lewis, like the Chronicles of Narnia shit. One of the two.
Okay.
They kept like the other writers like, no, you shouldn't be writing that.
Oh.
Like, don't like. So if you listen to them, we wouldn't either have like Lord of the Rings or the Chronicles of Narnia or whatever the fuck, because a lot of writers too, it's just like, especially now, it'd be like, oh, what's popular?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when zombie fiction was super popular, it's like, we should probably just write like a zombie story, or maybe add zombies to it. It was like, well, no, I want to write a Western.
That or even if it's not something like that, it's like they just like, you know, like, oh, I have this idea today, and they might be like, fuck, that's really good, but then tell you like, no, man, don't do that.
Yeah, then they do it.
Yeah.
So,
Or not even do it. They just don't want you to be, you know.
There's a lot of jealousy in the writing community too, so it's like I can see a lot of people be like, "Oh, this guy's really good. We should just fucking take his legs out from under him." You know, that's why I don't want the feedback. I don't want it. Give me the feedback after it's been published. That's what I want. 5-star review. Anyway, we have an episode today. What is it about? Yeah, fucking talk books,
Things,
books,
stuff,
writing, reading,
Yep.
books, arithmetic.
Ooh.
No, that's another thing we never talk about is math.
That's probably a good reason for that.
We never discuss the math. I think about being a Renaissance man, and you know what my biggest lacking in being a Renaissance man is the math.
The math.
Don't do any. I hate math. I'm not a math guy. Anyway, folks, stick around, and this will be a pleasure to listen to, I'm sure. You are listening to the Drunken Pen Writing Podcast. I'm your host, Caleb Jays. With me, as always, Spencer, the Utah Uterus Unhooker Church.
Oh.
I was going to say unhouser, but I said unhooker. Same thing, kind of.
Unhomed?
Unhomed. I think unhoused is better. So you like Jack the Ripper? You're removing them? Are you like the Black Dahlia? You're getting in. How are you doing this?
As you were saying it, the first thing that come to my mind was just like you had like a tow truck thing. They were just like hooking it and just, you know.
Yuck. Unhitcher.
Yeah.
You are unhitching them.
You're right.
What are they hitched to? Hopefully not the lady. I didn't say it was human uterus. Maybe what you are is a surgeon who is.
I was say, couldn't you just call that a doctor?
You could. I don't know. Are you allowed to do that kind of stuff in the U.S. anymore without going to jail?
You're right.
Oh, you need emergency uterus removal? Well, you're out of luck. Guess you just got to die because we fucking assholes elected a Republican president again. Why the U.S. keeps doing that, I don't fucking know. Hey, things are starting to turn around. Let's tank it again. Yeah. Every fucking 4 to 8 years, let's tank the whole country. Goddamn fucking cock-sucking nation of fucking troglodytes and mooks. Bunch of mooks.
Oh, wow.
Oh, now I keep seeing all these Republican videos where it's just like, oh, now I finally regret my vote. Why? Because gas went up?
Yeah.
Oh, everything else was fine, but gas went up. Now you're mad. Well, I didn't think we should go to war. Yeah, nobody else did either. Fucking ass. Oh, punches. Everyone should just line up for a face punch.
Just one punch, and then they can be forgiven.
No, not forgiven.
Well, but I mean, we can try
They get a yearly punch for the rest of their life by Brock fucking Lesnar.
Wow.
And now you might be making out a little better when he's in his 80s, but he's still got, but he's probably a Republican too, so who's going to punch him?
Well, he just punches himself.
Fucking, I don't want to get punched by Brock Lesnar. Like, I don't have to get punched by Brock Lesnar, but I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't want to get punched by Brock Lesnar. He has big ham fist.
Oh, and especially if you give him one of them MMA gloves, where he can really just let loose without having to worry about busting his hand up.
I think if he had glass embedded in his hand, he wouldn't worry about busting his hand up because that's a fucking straight up ham. Like, it's not causing him damage. I don't think he could break his hand.
What about you could pick? It's just a straight punch or it's a hammer punch.
You know what? I am conceding that I'm not getting to answer that. I don't want either. I don't want to think about it.
You have to take one though.
Probably hammer punch. I don't know, because I've seen him hammer punch people on the ground, and it looks rough.
And I always feel like the hammer punches are coming more towards like the top and the side of your head.
Yeah, but the top of your head's the hardest part, so that wouldn't cause as much damage. But if he hits you in the face with it, you're done. Your head explodes. It looks like a fucking shotgun blast.
It hits you in your nose, and your fucking brain just comes out of your ears.
Fucking nose turns into lasagna. Just ugh. Just weird flesh and goo, red goo. So Spencer, we read books.
Yeah.
Did we talk about Project Hail Mary? I think we did.
We did we talked about like the movie and then I think the book a little bit.
I think there's enough book talk fucking videos on it.
Right.
We don't need to really discuss it. It was good. We said it was good. Both were good. Book and movie. Recently I have read. What did I read before Pulp? I already forget. Oh, so I don't remember if I talked about this last episode because my brain is starting to short circuit. But I read Cat's Cradle by Vonnegut.
Oh yeah, I think you were in the process. I don't think you finished it though.
Well, I finished Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut, and I was sorely disappointed. And we had this discussion off air where maybe I'm not a Vonnegut fan. Right. Maybe I just really like Slaughterhouse-Five because we read Sirens of Titan for the podcast. It was okay. Original idea. I liked the writing, but it wasn't like something that I ever want to reread. Player Piano, I actually did not finish that. I read half of it, and I just got really bored and didn't read the rest. But that was like his first novel, I think. So
I think so, yeah.
Understandable. Cat's Cradle is one that's like regarded as one of his best novels. I read the whole thing. I almost abandoned it, but I didn't because it's only like 180 pages or something. It's not very long. I just didn't care what was happening at all. Even at the end, like the end was the most interesting part, like the last 20 pages or so. There were some parts that made me chuckle slightly under my breath. I just did not think it was that good. I did not care for it. Even the idea, like the execution, is just a guy trying to find like information on some guy who made the atomic bomb, and it's just like a lot of dumb shit. And it just read in a way that I was like, this could have been a short story, maybe.
Okay,
like a 10-page short story probably would have been sufficient. But then I moved on to top read for me.
Right.
The most ridiculous book, one of the worst books I've ever read, and one of the most enjoyable. Pulp by Charles Bukowski. It was his last book. And I've described it multiple times off air as if Hunter S. Thompson decided to write a satirical crime novel starring Ignatius from fucking the Confederacy of Dunces. Like, it was so ridiculous. At least once a page, the guy was talking about just this one character that he's going after. I'm going to nail her ass because he's trying to catch her in the act of fucking. But he just always says he's going to nail her ass to the point where even the husband that hired him, he's a private dick, hired him to catch him. It's just like, wait, are you actually trying to like bang my wife? And he's like, no, what? No, get out of here. I'm gonna nail her ass. And I'm just like, and he's hitting everybody in the sack.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why that book was written, but it's enjoyable.
It is. It's so strange.
I would recommend to everybody. Yeah, for a minute there, I didn't think it was going where it was going, but then we just get aliens and shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
It just it makes a turn somewhere, and it's just
it never looks back.
Well, because it's Lady Death, and you're like,
I thought it was just a lady.
Yeah,
and that's just what she went by. No, she was actually the Grim Reaper. And then there's an alien, and then the alien meets the Grim Reaper, but they're all hot chicks,
and like an immortal man.
Yeah, there's a fucking immortal man. Everything is bizarre. I didn't understand why that guy had a license with his actual birth date on. Nobody thought that was suspicious. The guy's license said he was born in the 1800s. But yeah, it was thoroughly enjoyable. And I liked how the guy just constantly was drinking.
Yeah.
So, and every single character, there's two things I really loved about this. One, every single character, whenever they would get a drink, which was almost every other page, somebody was drinking something, they always slammed it back.
Right.
The whole thing. And they weren't like, oh, here's a shot. They're all cocktails.
Well, they always took hits of their drinks.
Yeah, and it was just always slamming it back. But two, what I loved is there's a running gag in the whole book where probably almost every chapter this motherfucker ends up at a bar. Always a different bar.
It always goes so bad.
He always gets in a big fight. Like, they hate him so much for no reason. It's always this weird misunderstanding. Like, I think one of the last ones was he goes into a bar and he sits down at a booth and the waitress comes over and he's like, yeah, I'll have 2 Chinese beers, no glass. And she was like, no, why don't you just get one, finish it, and you have the other one? So I want 2. And it causes this big fucking thing, and then it ends up having to pull out his gun. And it's just like, why did they make such a big deal about it? And he's like, no, now I want 3 beers, no glass. And then it had to be Chinese beer. Why? And when did they have Chinese beer in the 90s in the U.S.? Like, it was fucking nonsense. Yeah, it was just the whole book was nonstop nonsense, and I would read it again probably just because I was like, what the fuck is this? There's a lot of poo poo and doo doo talk.
I kind of wish somebody would make it into like a short or something.
Yeah. Or like he gets held up at gunpoint from the back and he doesn't see the assailant, and the guy's like, oh, freeze, motherfucker. And he's like, oh, you must be black. And he's like, why? And he's like, only black people say motherfucker. He's like, what? And then he turns around and then he's like, oh, it's a white guy. And then he's like, then the motherfucker proceeded to like, so he just started referring to him as the motherfucker. And meanwhile, most of the book he didn't cuss. He was telling people to eat doo doo.
Yeah.
So would you eat your mom's doo doo if she told you to? He's like, what? I was like, oh man!
Well, like we said, I don't think he finished editing it before he died. So who
made
knows?
It better. It made it better. It made it better, in my opinion. And then the fucking ending was weird. I'm like, what the hell is this?
It gets very like existential. Like,
yeah, I was like, God damn it! It's just odd. Everything about it was very odd.
All in like 200 pages.
Yeah, it's 202 pages, I think. And every page is a fucking hilarious. Like, I was laughing multiple times. Like, there was a scene near the beginning where he goes outside. I don't know if it's the smog or what. I think it starts raining. And he describes the smell as wet farts.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I can imagine LA smelling like wet farts.
And then you just picture an old brittle man just bent over a typewriter, just old farts.
Yeah, he's just a fucking 70-something-year-old man writing about old farts.
If we can all be so lucky.
And then the guy's always zipping and unzipping because every time he's talking to a woman, I guess he has to whip his dick out, but then he puts it away because they're like, are you unzipped? Zip it back up. He's like, okay. It's like, what the fuck is happening? And everybody just keeps going into his house and fucking him up, or he's fucking them up. Like, he beats the shit out of the guy he calls the mailman.
Yeah.
It comes over, he puts like glass in his mouth.
Well, he picture whips his landlord, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, there's just so many odd things in this fucking book.
You know what we should do now, since we've read his last book? We should go and read his first book and just be like, see what it is.
Well, I was looking up some of his books, and apparently the one you want to read is called Ham on Rye, which is semi-autobiographical about him.
Okay.
And that one sounds really interesting. So maybe that won't be just all old wet farts. Like, I don't know what this was. And yeah, because there's like no synopsis on the book or anything either. It's just... And every character is like, when I say Confederacy of Dunces, because every character is an asshole.
Yeah, and just ridiculous.
Yeah, just a caricature of real people. Like, they're just all ridiculous. I don't think was there a good character in this book? Like somebody that wasn't just like a piece of shit or a degenerate gambler or drunk or something?
No, I don't, because like even like the landlord was an asshole. Anybody he came in contact with was
the
an asshole.
The bookstore owner was just constantly kicking people out for no reason. Yeah. Every bartender was a fucking huge asshole. I don't know. I should have brought it down just to read parts of it, but now we don't need to do that. But that was fucking, it was very funny.
It's in the bag.
Yeah, we don't need to do that. I could. Oh, fuck. Get it out. I got to do it. Oh, anyway, folks, if you are interested, it's only going to take us this week. So by the time this episode comes out, we already have recorded it, but we are doing the Road graphic adaptation for an episode if you want to check that out. Not a lot of words in that, but I was looking at the art, and the art's really cool.
It is, yeah. I was flipping through it today as well.
Yeah, and we both read The Road years ago, so we have some information that we can share, hopefully, for a full episode.
If only we were lucky enough that they one day make his whatever story that was when the guy was bunging the watermelons into a graphic novel.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man, that would be fucking amazing.
Trying to find the wet farts.
I don't even know what page it is. I feel like there's wet farts on a lot of the pages, though.
And, like, the book, there's no description or synopsis or anything of, like, when you get it. So you don't, like, you have no idea what you're getting into when you start reading this.
Yeah, I didn't even know what it was about. I just remember I saw Bukowski wrote a fucking pulp novel. I was like, I'm going to get that for Spencer. That sounds like something he would like. Because originally I was trying to get you into poetry, and I was like, well, Bukowski writes about farts, so I think you'd like it. And I don't know how far you made it through the poetry collection you got, but...
I only made it like a couple in, but now that kind of makes me want to revigor me into maybe checking it out more.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember where... I thought it was near the beginning, but I don't remember where it's at. But there's like a lot of ridiculous things in here. And everyone talks in this like overly ridiculous pulp way.
I was going to say it takes place in the 90s, but I always was picturing things like the 70s or like the late 60s.
Yeah. I'm aware of the statistics, Blaine. Listen, I know that he is alive somewhere, and the guy in the bookstore could be him. Are you closing in on anything? I want this guy. I want him badly. I said, zip up, huh? You fool. I said, zip up. oh, all right. That was just unzipped when he's talking to him. Like, was he just immediately fucking unzip his dick? And then the one time he should be unzipped is he calls a phone sex operator. And then he doesn't unzip. He asks her all these fucking stupid questions. And it's just like, she's like, what's down? You know, look down. What do you see? Because he's trying to get him to talk about his dick. And he's like, my shoes, my gut. Like, he's just useless. I like when he goes to take a piss in the beginning and it just goes sideways and pisses all over the floor. I love the dialogue in this. It's all very short and punchy and ridiculous.
When the chapters are
like a page or two long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very quick read. Like, you just keep going through. And then he calls everybody baby.
Yeah.
Hey, baby. But he's just like, the way he talks in this is so stupid. Everything in this is very stupid. You know what? I should get some of the nail her ass stuff. That shit was fucking cracking me up because he kept saying it. And then he'll get into like all capitals. I'm going to nail her ass now. It's like, but the whole time you just think, I don't think he's talking about catching her in the act. The way he said it was always like in the implication that he wanted to actually nail her ass. Because he's always talking about people's butts. And then there's lines like this that I love. I awakened depressed. I looked up to the ceiling, at the cracks in the ceiling. I saw a buffalo running over something. I think it was me. Then I saw a snake with a rabbit in his mouth. The sun came through the rips in the shade and formed a swastika on my belly. My bunghole itched. Were my hemorrhoids coming back? My neck was stiff and my mouth tasted like sour milk. Why do you have to talk about that? Like, why does your bunghole itch all of a sudden? Your hemorrhoids coming back. It's just this fucking weird character developed through this whole book. Yeah, you would definitely have to let Mike read this because this is fucking good. Anyway, Spencer, we're going to read The Road, and then I'm going to read Gravity's Rainbow.
Okay. That's going to be the last thing before you embark.
Yeah, and you're reading In the Miso Soup right now.
Yeah, I'm about like a quarter of the way into it.
Now, are you going to take a break between the books, or are you just going to read them all? Because they're all short.
Yeah, I figured I'd at least read that and Piercing because they're like together, aren't they?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Well, because I just wondering because one of the main character, the guide, there's a character that they talked to early on to, and you're talking about like how he used to have these dreams of wanting to like poke a baby with like a needle or anything sharp, and I was like, well, I thought that was that, so
maybe, yeah, I read them spaced out, so I didn't put it together. I probably forgot about that, but yeah, that'd be interesting to do.
But I figure I probably will at least read those two together and see how I'm feeling. If I feel like I need to, break it up with something else or just go into the, the audition.
Yeah, I said maybe just the break after Piercing it because the subject matter is, the tension and I feel like it's one of those books where it's like it's not overly graphic or anything. It's just it lingers with you. Mm-hmm. It's like one of those ones you're like, ooh, it makes you go, ugh.
Right.
Like when we read Coin Locker Baby, it's like, ooh,
yeah, you just felt gross.
Ooh, it's like I gotta wash before I read another one,
No, that was later in his career, right? Coin Locker Baby, because because these ones like those like the In the Miso Soup and Piercing, like those are like the first couple, aren't they?
Yeah.
Or at least what like got him like.
Right. Well, after you read these 3 books, I would love your opinion on if you think Nicholas Obregon is right about saying he's the better Murakami.
Well, I feel like I would have to also read some more Murakami too, because
maybe after 1Q84.
Yeah. Well, because that was another thing I wanted to ask you, and I guess we can do it on air because what else? We need to kill a couple more minutes. But like, cause like we read those short story collections, and I read those first 2, like his first 2 novels. And we were talking about reading Q&A4. I was like, do you think like I should try to squeeze in any other Murakami before we get to QA14? I was at least thinking about because like there's a trilogy of like the first 3 books, kinda like a loose kinda. We were talking about doing. It's like the I forget the name of it. It was like a lamb or something.
The Wild Sheep Chase is the book, but I forget the name of the trilogy of the Rat or something. Maybe
something like Because did you still have to read that one, or did you read that one too?
I read Wild Sheep Chase.
Okay.
Hold on, let me look at his first 3 books. Because 2 of them were the ones we read. They were together.
Mm-hmm,
it was on like the flip book.
Right, yeah.
Haruki Murakami. Haruki-san. Murakami-san.
Well, and I also feel like it probably depends on like what you like, because it seems like Ryu Murakami is a more kind of like
horror-based,
grounded... Yeah, horror, crimey kind of stuff.
Haruki Murakami is almost like Latin American realism written from a Japanese perspective, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, so A Wild Sheep Chase, Dance, Dance. I didn't read Dance, Dance, Dance. Hear the Wind Sing, and then the pinball one.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, that was so if you read The Wild Sheep Chase, you'd read those first 3 books, I believe.
Do you think that'd be enough to go into Murakami properly, or should I try to get like
Yeah,
another weird?
Wild Sheep Chase is weird.
Okay.
So yeah, that would be the first introduction into like the really weird stuff. Because you remember when I read the first two novels, I was like, it's not that weird.
Yeah, like the weirdest part was like when the pinball machine was talking to him at the end of the one story.
Yeah, but like the Wild Sheep Chase actually starts to get weird.
Okay.
It's tough because there's so many Murakamis I would want you to read other than 1Q84.
Mm-hmm.
Because I read 1Q84 first out of all his books. But it's also, I thought it was really good. I really like it. Because it's about like a lady who gets off the interstate. I think there's like traffic. She climbs down like an emergency thing. And when she gets down there, she inadvertently enters a parallel universe. And everything's slightly different. It's just weirdness ensues.
Things like that is like you ever have those like moments where it's like, did I do that? Did that happen to me? Like you just have like a real shit day and you're like, am I someplace fucking else? Like
I'm not supposed to be here. Well, let me rank these. We'll end it with Caleb ranking of Murakami books.
Okay.
Norwegian Wood. That is his least real magical book, I think, but that's the one that got him really famous.
Okay.
It's kind of like a love story. I watched the movie that they came out, Japanese movie they came out with based on it.
Was it like a new movie or was it like a movie like at the time of the book? Like
90s, 2000s. I don't remember. It was all right, but I liked the book. But yeah, that was definitely like, his Catcher in the Rye or something. It's like, oh, this could just be a real story. 1Q84, obviously I said that was my first Murakami. I really liked it. It made me want to read more. Though I would never recommend anyone be that their first read because it's like reading The Dark Tower or The Stand or something. It's like, oh, I'm going to read Stephen King. Let me read the big fucking hard, or even like It maybe. Kafka on the Shore is probably my favorite. It's a really good book. It's fucking weird.
Now, would you say would I have to read some Kafka before?
No, it has nothing to do with Kafka.
I didn't know if maybe he was like a fan of his or something and was able to kind of like do a story like on like maybe not like but like in his like in a weird style like
he is a big fan of Kafka and the character's name's Kafka.
Oh, okay.
It's a boy, I think.
Okay.
Well, if you remember, I don't remember if you read it or not. So like Kafka had the Metamorphosis where Gregor Samsa wakes up as a bug. And Murakami wrote that short story where a bug wakes up as Gregor Samsa. And it was really good.
Yeah.
The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle is considered his masterpiece.
I would say those are always like the two big ones.
Yeah.
That and 1QA4, right?
Yeah. I really like the Wind-Up Bird Chronicle, though it was not my favorite Murakami. It was one of those ones where I was like, maybe a little too long.
I would say, is that another thick guy?
Yeah, it's pretty thick. Not as big as 1QA4, but it's pretty big. The City and Its Uncertain Walls, I never even heard of that one. What I talk about Running, that's one of his nonfiction. I haven't read that yet. Men Without Women, I think that's a short story collection. I believe I did read that, and it was okay. I find that short story collections aren't that enthralling from what we've done on here.
Yeah. Well, again, it depends on who doing the adaptations of them.
The translations. A Wild Sheep Chase, I really enjoyed that. That was, like I said, that was probably his first, like, when I read that was, like, really weird. Hard Boiled Wonderland and the End of the World. I love that book.
Honestly, that one I've remember you talking about that one.
Fucking
before.
Weird as shit, but I loved it.
Is it kind of like Pulp, kind of? Is it? Because I always thought maybe it was like a weird like detective story. Because it's like hard boiled.
No, it's like about a guy who ends up in like an underground labyrinth. I think he's harvesting dreams or something in a weird library. It's very odd. After Dark, I don't remember if I read that or not. I think that's another short story collection. If it is, I think I did read it. Colorless Sukuru Tazaki. I don't think I read that. Sputnik Sweetheart, did not like it.
No.
It was like a generic romance. Did not like it. Killing Commodore, I have that. That was 2017, one of his newer ones.
Just haven't got around to it.
Yeah, it's really big and the reviews were bad.
But
it was one of those ones where all the reviews were like, does he write anything other than people listening to jazz and make spaghetti? And I was like, no. Dance, Dance, Dance. I have not read it. Hear the Wind Sing. We did that on the podcast. It was good. South of the Border, West of the Sun. I believe that was the one that was the generic romance, I think. Yeah, I did not like that one. I think Sputnik Sweetheart was better. I don't remember what it was. Both kind of not.
But if you can't remember what it's about, it probably wasn't that good.
The Seventh Man, that was a short story, wasn't it? We did that in the... I'm pretty sure that was a short story.
Okay.
The Elephant Vanishes. That was a short story collection, but I think The Seventh Man might have been in that. Actually.
But I actually like the story of that title is from. I like that story pretty good.
Yeah. Blind Willow, Sleeping Woman. Have not heard of that one. Birthday Girl. Some of these might be short stories, but I don't know why it's under books. Because Birthday Girl, that was in the short story collection.
Oh yeah, it was. I remember that one.
Abandoning a Cat, Memories, something or other. I don't know what that is. First Person Singular, that was the short story collection we did, and I did not care for it.
Yeah, that one wasn't very good.
After the Quake, that was another one of his nonfictions, I believe. Tony Takatani, I don't know what that is. I heard this is one we actually should read for nonfiction. Novelist as a Vocation. So
Okay.
this is his book about writing.
Oh yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah. Pinball 1973, that was the first book, right?
Yeah, I forget if it was that or the other one.
I think maybe the Pinball was the second one. The Strange Library, that's a very small book, but it's very unique. I like that a lot. Portrait in Jazz, I don't know what that is. A Slow Boat to China, I'm not sure what that is. Win Pinball, we just talked about. Absolutely on Music, I don't know what that is, but that has somebody else's name on the cover. So.
It's probably maybe his take on, because he's a big jazz guy and stuff. So
I
maybe
think that's what that is. I'm gonna skip some of these because these are a lot of short stories now. The Second Bakery Attack, that was a short story. We did that. Now it's going into the graphic novels. Then it has 1Q822, 1Q842.
Oh.
I think that's the collection we have. I wonder if they edited that and made it, because remember I said when I read it, when you get to book 2 and book 3, like the first chunk of it was just reiteration of what you already read, and I was like, oh, maybe they cut that out in those volumes.
We will find out maybe later this year.
Yeah, but I am interested in you reading more Murakami, and then, we could put to rest whether...
Just more Murakami's.
Yeah. Anyway, folks, that's a way too long discussion on Murakami, but that's an episode. Spencer's OnlyFans, he is in Utah, and he is unhooking, unhousing, and unhitching uteruses. It's a lot. CalebJamesK.com. You can read my publications and all that stuff. I'm in things. As the recording of this, I should be out in the Rotten Palm. I wrote a Middle English poem in a Shakespearean style, so that'll be free to read. You can check out my website and or Instagram if you want, give that an old read. Like I said, I think that April 6th, Monday. So yeah, that'll be last Monday. The last Monday is this is released. You could check us out at DPW Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. That's all the news. Thank you for listening. We'll check you out next week.